Listen.
Different water, same hair. Part 2, here we go. Track 13, Crown the Kings. London Fletcher. Two hoes attached called Siamese cat. Oh my God, that was terrible.
Don't cook the elements. The sky's the limit. I'm heaven sent. Dripping them flies and pelican. Dripping. Buy me a zoo. I got elephants. They salty. These niggas not relevant. Get copied and bros in this evidence. Copies of the dope and you sell 'em. Nigga look like you a snitch on a nigga. Yeah, you tell him. Nigga might think we.
Nah, that really didn't do anything too crazy for me. Sound like something I already heard already. Track 14, Flooded.
Flooded. Bust down my nigga shit custom. Bust down your bitch with my brothers, man. Bust down your bitch with my brothers, man. Bust it. Clever. Diamond like nuggets. Pull up on niggas like huggies. I turn my bitch to a J-Lo. They know. Flooded. Bust down my nigga shit. Make it rain bullets and color them. Flooded. Bust down my nigga shit custom. I kick it like rugby. I got this like it's so plug me. Solitaire chicken McNuggets. Solitaire. Making the pie in the oven.
Alright, that song was terrible. I'm sorry, I did stop it early. I will not even lie to y'all. I will stop when as soon as he said that chicken nugget line, I was done. Look, man, those last two tracks were very, let's not even sugarcoat it. Shit was terrible. Alright, it was two tracks were terrible. Come on, man. Spice it up. Stop fucking around, man. Track 15, Beast.
She a little beast. She a little beast. Gon' need me. I turn her to a beast. She a little beast. She a little beast. She a little beast. I can put a cook in the window. Where I gon' smell it? Cookie. Nigga got big boy stain on the bucket. Ain't no telling. Eat it up, feast. Eat it up. Potentially. Nigga lifestyle ain't cheap.
Yo, say that shit again. I swear to God.
White PP, elite, white. She suckin', I fuck with the lead. She suckin', I ball like the ruckers and meat. I'm fuck on my buckle, we yeah. She a little beast, pleasing me. Let her walk around on leash.
I need some water. Track 16, Open It Up. Y'all better open it up because
Open it up. Crisscross jump.
this sounds like that one track on Culture that they had. Sounds like the sequel to that one track. I'm trying to think of what it was called. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It sounds similar to that same track.
Crisscross jump. With a bell in the trunk. Niggas still me yagging. Text on my body. Racks up the party. Real waste the candy cut. My niggas toting it. We ain't tryna look appropriate. I'm sure, but look at me wrong. I'm blonde without warning. 6 o'clock in the morning. Phone ringing this 25 bricks in the yard, elder bricks. I'm the big dog on the high pedestal. Four-legged coupe, hill in the roof.
I just don't understand, yo. Like, the first half of the album was so great, man. And literally, we just got, I can't believe that we literally went from 13 to 16, and they're just terrible. They're terrible tracks, man. Like, I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat it. Look, I'm not trying to be nice about it. I already said that it was entirely too long. Come on, man. Those last 4 tracks literally all sounded similar. Can we all agree with that at least, man? Like, I know some of y'all are real fans of the Migos. Like, I'm a real fan of my artists. Y'all have y'all artists. But come on, man. Let's come to an agreement right now. Y'all can all say that it was really repetitive, right? And just having that last track right there that sounded something that was similar on Culture, the first Culture, it's like the same track basically with a little bit of altered sounds. Like, come on, man, that's not being creative at all. It's kind of like you just like, oh, let's just put this album together, let's make money. Like, come on, man. The next track is Motorsport. Obviously, man, we know Cardi B being one of the biggest artists that we have in today's hip hop, rap scene. Cardi B has definitely sprung up. Used to being a stripper, and now she's with Offset. I figured that she was gonna be more on the album than this one track because I only see her on one track. And obviously Nicki Minaj as well. That track Motorsport is a bump, man. Everybody loves that song. I definitely liked it. I feel like the females definitely outdid the guys on that. They did cut Takeoff's verse really short, but You know, it was just exactly what it was. It was a single, and it got you up, it got you hyped, something to ride in the car to, something to pregame for. I feel like when you get like I feel like the Migos are just great at releasing singles. When it comes to a big body of a work, even if it's just like turn up music, I feel like they just get a little repetitive, and you know, you get tired of it. So I still think they haven't proved to me that they can make overall solid project. You know, I think that, you know, we're just gonna have to get used to this repetitive sound, and it is what it is. Track 18, Moving Too Fast.
I put the streets on beats. I've been geeked all week. I go to sleep, I don't eat. Cross style, make a nigga go weak. Cash deposits, get the cook just to mash the watches. Hit the gas and harass the rock.
I like the little woo, woo. I fuck with that part.
Everybody around me selling cold bricks. We let it fly with the fire with no kick. I don't wanna unify with no clip. 30 for some 45 on my wrist. To mash the watches, hit the gas and harass the Rari. Diamonds bright and glass is water. Beat on my chest beats, Huncho King Kong. Beast, beast. Singing about the band on that King Cole. Yeah. Trapping, hear the ringtone. Grandma got weed, she flew straight home.
I think that they needed more of that, like that gang shit that they had earlier in the album when it was kind of slowed down. I felt like they should have went more towards that style, and you know, some of these other tracks just to mix it up a little bit, just to give us a different side, because like I did say, the last 4 tracks were repetitive, and then we got Motorsport. Motorsport would have definitely brought me back up because that is a banger. I do like what they did there. You know, having features, it was a little refreshing. But this track right here, Moving Too Fast, I feel like they kind of slowed it down. You know, it kind of gave you like this slower side of the Migos, but them still rapping. It just sounds different. Not too different, because at the same time they are rapping about the same thing. They do have the same flows, but you know, it's just a minor difference in what they're doing. That track, Moving Too Fast, was the first track since Part 2. That was good. Track 19, Work Hard. Oh, okay. That I thought he was talking about the actual watch. He was talking about the Tech 9. Okay. All I like that right there. Alright, the only reason Offset had the best verse on that track is because of that drop. If it wasn't for that drop, that track would have just been total dumpster juice. Now it's just partial dumpster juice. Alright, still, the drop didn't save the track. I felt like with the same thing that we got before, but the next 2 tracks have 2 features with Post Malone and 2 Chainz, so something. Hopefully we'll get something different, man, because we do need something to switch this flow up right now.
Eyes on it, birds in the trunk singing like Jodeci. I tip a bitch cause of my courtesy.
At least it's something different, you know?
Pick up my currency. I took it so Mac could come work for me. Keep the Draco case in emergency.
Damn, boy, he threw a hard ass bit. He threw that B word hard as shit.
Sipping the tea, back in the heat. Nigga, they looking for me.
Yo.
Coming up watching the niggas on TV like that what I wanted to be.
Yo.
Now, extortion, publishing, you owe it to me. You know you owe. I'm dropping the top and showing the test. Run to the money, we trying to get paid. I clear my mind and I had the whole facility. Not liking your vibe, your energy. I came from the pod with Kimberly. She sniffing the lines assembly. We had a good time in Italy. Yo, these niggas be lying by loyalty. Get on my knee, praying to God to cover me.
You see you slow it down? See, it was something different, and just because of that, it got bonus points for me. I thought I wasn't gonna like it at first. I didn't really like Post Malone on the hook, and to be quite honest, after what he said in his remarks towards like rap and hip hop, and what he said that I'm not a hip hop artist, like come on, man, he should not be on this album called Culture, because he is a culture vulture. Like there's no reason. Look, I do like some of Post Malone's music, and I can't lie, I do bumps with it. But when he said some of that stuff that he said, come on, man, like. you are popular because of the culture. You know, like that's not cool, man. Like, and then you only basically taking the culture when it benefits you, but then you pushing it off when it's something negative. That's not how it works, my guy. So you know, other than that though, man, I didn't like Post on the hook, but I felt like Takeoff and Quavo, you know, their flows did stay the same, but you couldn't really realize it just because of how different the beat was. And you give it a different beat, and it kind of like makes their you know, the way they rap stand out. So I think that was something cool. Like, man, look, I like tracks like that. I think all the tracks where they experimented were really good. You know, like Narcos and Gang Gang, and now this track Notice Me. I think that I love when they do stuff like that. I don't know why they just didn't continue that. 21, 2 Player featuring 2 Chainz. Coco Santi, Mabuble, Zabaze. Boy, that saxophone is out there ripping, man. Y'all hear that shit in the background, dude?
Girl got that water park. When she get up, she left a watermark. Black with tan for me. Motherfuckers like armor.
Nah, you too, 2 Chainz.
I love my mama, never change her on her. So I gotta let his mama live. I beat the pot up like Adrian Runner. Making banners, they become a feel. Came in the game and were independent. They was screaming like the way you got a deal. Say I ain't.
Look, classical instruments is never gonna fail in any type of production, man. I definitely like how they brought the saxophone. I couldn't tell if it was an alto or if it was a tenor. I believe it was an alto. Kind of sounded really light, but I think 2 Chainz was a great feature on here. He definitely loves those kind of like vibey sounds. I think 2 Chainz is also a great. 2 Chainz is a punchline rapper. That's what he is. A lot of people don't realize some of the stuff he says goes over a lot of people's heads, but at the same time, you know, I think with 2 Chainz, he understands his lane. He knows what he can do, and he doesn't try to go above it. And it's been working for him for the past years. 2 Chainz is one of those rappers that you can't really hate. You gotta love him or respect him. That's what it is. There's no hate involved with 2 Chainz. I definitely think I don't think I heard Offset on here again. It was just Takeoff and Quavo. I like the jazzy sounds. Other than that, though, this is not another one where they experimented with something different and it worked out for them. I'm telling you, man, like Migos has too big of a fan base for them to fail at anything. I'm sorry, like it's just gonna, you know, no one's gonna call the Migos trash. It is what it is. Track 22, Made Men.
Hi. I would like to welcome you to the Migos show.
Now this is culture. This is culture, bro.
All my niggas made for it. Made. All my niggas made for it. Made. It's about them whips and them houses and jewelry, cause all that shit just paid for. I don't see no trouble, ain't gotta drive straight. So I'm running up the lane, cause my bills paid. LA for it. Look at my muscles. MVP the whole game, Quavo Russell. Russell, do not touch him.
Quavo Russell. Okay, I see you. That could be Russell. That could be Russell Wilson or Russell Westbrook. Whatever Russell you pick, he a threat. He a threat both ways.
How did you come in the game? I came with the gang, of course. We can divide the flame, turn the s'mores. All aboard. Load up the bricks on the Ford. I bought the tiger to roar. We about to body a store. So we catch the bricks and deport it. Missing the book, you got deported. I'm on the block all day.
I just don't fucking get it, bro. I just don't get it. Like, did you hear that track? That is like black struggle right there. That you can feel the soul, man. That's old school right there. Why not just make multiple tracks like that? Because that is true culture, man. Look, I'm not trying to get this as a race thing, man. I'm not speaking from a white boy from the suburbs perspective. I'm not speaking from anything. I'm just telling you, when I grew up to Young Jeezy and Andre 3000, Lupe Fiasco, and you can just feel the soul and the hurt in those tracks, man. Like, you could feel the struggle. Being a black person from the hood, looked down upon every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I know I didn't probably, I think it was in the last track where they mentioned the line Zoe Pound. Look, when you went from Miami, them Haitians for real. Haitian Day was no games, bro. Like, I'm talking about, we had K9s, SWAT, all that at our school. Like, yo, the Zoe Pound do not play. If y'all don't know what the Zoe Pound is, that is the Haitian gang, and them black brothers and sisters, they is out there wilding. I swear to God, it is no joke. And people, if y'all don't know about that, it's real life. So you gotta understand, man. That's just a whole struggle thing. That's what I wanted them to get at throughout this whole album. You know, culture. That's what it's about, man. You're supposed to feel black and proud. Feel like it's all about the culture. I feel like just having Post Malone on here, that was already a slap in the face. But like, it's not really sticking to what the album title is. But that track right there, Made Men, is the best track on here, hands down. Like, you really can't get really nothing bad about that track. And if you can't feel that track, then my dude, you really don't know music, man. No matter what, people are gonna listen. People are gonna sit there like, what are they rapping about? Sometimes it's not really what the lyrics are saying. You know, it's about the story and what they're feeling, how you feel with the music. You know, being a black brother, man, I definitely understand what they're saying right there. Same thing I always say about Kodak Black, man. When I remember when I watched reviews when Core Links and JPay, and everybody was clowning the song, like, what the hell is a Core Links and JPay? Come on, man. Like, you know why you don't know what that song is? Because you've never been through that. You know what it is, like sending money to families and your friends and what's that called, in jail, and you know, the phone calls. Like, man, y'all don't know nothing about that, man. I swear to God, I be trying to tell people. Hey, man, but that hands down, Made Men, best track on this album. Like, straight up. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, when you talk about culture, I felt like that track right there embodied everything he was speaking on, and I definitely love what he did right there, man. Track 23, Top Down on the North.
Top down on the north. That's why I'm hunting Joe.
They listen to me. They listen to me, yo. Listening, man. Y'all definitely listening. Y'all switching the beats up. Me, I'm just like, this is a move, man. This is a bop. I just don't understand why they couldn't just make something very cultural throughout the whole album. But I'm gonna get to that. Track 24, Culture National Anthem Outro.
Culture. Say they want the culture. Eat it up, turn them to vultures.
Real shit.
Thank God and I go strong. I wake up, look in my eyes and put it on. She gon' fuck, she look at my life and wanna be on. We was searching for the way, it was culture where we found you. Ride the way, too busy occupied getting paid. I'ma duck off and hibernate. When the Grammys are higher the rate, I can pull up no diamonds today.
First of all, I know they're saying they created this sound, but honestly, they just made it more popular again. But this flow was already made up back in the day. Don't be fooled. Everything is always recreated. You know, it's just brought back to life. AKA like ripped jeans. That's something rock stars were doing years ago in the 80s and the freaking 70s. And, you know, we just brought it back to style. So like everything is always recreated. Don't think you created because, you know, it's just, nah.
Mama told me break out of these chains, son, and you gon' fall.
Real shit, man.
Culture.
Look, man, I'll tell you one thing about this album, the summary about this album. Philippe, his last name is Pt.2, and he's really cold, and he's on wrist, and he's in every single track. Nah, man, hey, man, let me get for real. Let me just stop playing because I do feel some type of way right now, and I really want to get it off my chest. But first of all, the album, Culture, I don't think they really stuck to what they were trying to get there, especially with the first Culture and this. Yeah, there were some points where you, like I said, you can get to, you know, about all the jewelry and the flashy styles and, you know, coming from the streets and whatnot, and Mama, I Never Failed You. I can understand. Yeah, those are certain things that you, when you coming up, you gotta understand, man. Like, you know, when you come from nothing, a lot of people always, you know, are quick to judge and they wonder, like, why do, you know, some of these cats do what they do. And it's because you understand, when you come up from nothing, you know, like, you know, in your mind, it's just like, yo, I gotta do everything to flex. That's what people want to do. The album from like first track to track 9, there was only like 4 bad tracks from there. I mean, from 1 to 12, there's only like 4 bad tracks, and then from 13 to 24, the first 4 tracks off rip were just terrible to me. They got really repetitive. I didn't really like what they were saying. I guess you could say that the middle of the album was didn't really do anything for me. I felt like it was filler tracks, but I felt like towards the end they got back on track. I told them they should experiment. They're the Migos. Anything that the Migos do, they're not gonna get overlooked because they're the Migos. They can get away with a lot of things. They have a strong enough fan base for that. So I feel like, if you're gonna make this long album, at least give us different sounds. We got sounds like Narcos and Gang Gang where they slowed it down, as well as the track with 2 Chainz and Post Malone. Now, I'm gonna speak on this right now. I already said about the album. Look, the album was entirely too long. It was just too long, man. It was 24 tracks. If they would have made this album 13 to 14 tracks of just their best songs that they had on the album, this album would have literally been fire from start to finish, because there was some strong points in this album. But at the same time, look, you can't have 24 tracks and expect people to have the attention spans when you're not that very creative. You're just not that creative. You weren't trying to bring the culture on to most people on most of the tracks. They were just basically kind of bangers at the beginning. I felt like towards the end, you were kind of showing us that with the the culture anthem, and then the track with 2 Chainz, and then Made Men. Made Men is literally the #1 track on this album, not the Drake track, not the track with Travis Scott, Made Men. That is the culture right there. I felt that track from start to finish, man. I just felt the soul in that track. I felt like them boys were really speaking on a lot of stuff. I felt like the last 4 tracks, them boys were really speaking on a lot of stuff, just growing up and, where they come from, and cultures and culture vultures and all that stuff. Man, I really felt that, and I wanted to address some of those things, with these next 3 minutes that I have. I'm glad that I have a platform because I can speak now, and y'all gonna listen because y'all gonna watch the video. Y'all want to know how I feel, and I'm gonna post it on Twitter because I need to get this off my chest. Yes, it goes both ways. I think they were really hypocritical about the whole thing with Post Malone. You're saying that, these cultures and they become vultures and blah blah blah, but you put Post Malone on a track on your album Culture too. That's the #1 definition. Post Malone, what he did was foul, man. You literally, you adopt the culture and it brings you up, and then as soon as you get to the top, you want to throw it all away. It don't work like that, my dude. You got the gold teeth and the brain. That's flawed as shit when you basically only use it to your benefit. Look, man, I can understand why a lot of and I'm just gonna say why a lot of black people get kind of offended and kind of upset. You gotta understand, man. Look, the reason why rap and hip hop is the number one genre today. I mean, we can all agree that other genres are falling off, in terms of popularity, and I think pop is probably the closest things next to it. But you got to understand, when back in the day when it was rap and hip hop, it was a movement. It was about art. It was about culture. The people that were listening to rap and hip hop were black people. Or people in that struggle. Now you look at it nowadays and you got people in mansions, people memeing, making memes out of it. And I think the one thing that really upsets me when I see it is certain reviewers. I've seen certain reviews, and I love my review friends and whatnot. We all cool, but I've seen certain reviews where, example, I was watching the Kodak Black review and whatnot, and I was watching other reviewers listen to it, and people that weren't of black descent were sitting there, and Core Links and JPay came on, and to me that song is 100% real. If you've never been through that feeling, you don't know what that is about, then you shouldn't speak on it. And I'm literally sitting there seeing people bash his song, what is a Core Links? It's okay, what's a JPay? My nigga, you don't even know the struggle. My nigga, you live in Fairfax, Virginia. So somebody that has never even felt a bit of struggle is literally gonna sit in my face and tell me what real hip-hop is, and what this and blah blah blah, and no, this is trash. You don't understand what real music. While you over there bumping to Lil Pump and blah blah blah, it just frustrates me from time to time when I just think about it like that. Some people are really just speaking on shit they don't know of because what? Because they're just hopping on the wave. It's not no secret, man. like white people love rap music nowadays. It wasn't like that back in the days. You know, not a lot. All right, there. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and talk for everybody. And yes, I'm getting to a sensitive topic, but I don't really give a fuck at this point because it's kind of making me mad. You know, you got people that come in here and just, oh no, To Pimp a Butterfly was one of the most acclaimed albums of the century. Kendrick was speaking on social issues, both sides, from the white and the black. He was looking out for black people. Look, man, if you not fucking black, I don't need you to tell me what the fuck he was speaking on. I don't need you to tell me that. I don't need you. If you never been through anything he was speaking on, or any struggle like that, or any kind of fear, do not talk to me about one of the best albums ever. That's what I'm saying about the culture. If you don't know anything about the culture, don't speak about it. That's what I'm saying. And that's what's getting me mad, when you trying to tell me that an album is trash, or this artist is doing that and this artist is doing that, when you don't know what the fuck they talking about. So yes, some of the reviewers, they do really well at saying like, I don't know, I'm not gonna speak on that, but I do say as something musically, I'm not in tune with it and I don't feel it. But then for people that's saying like, oh, what he's saying is just makes no sense and blah blah, but because you never been through that, my nigga, don't speak on that. Don't speak on what you don't know. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, you know, I don't think the Migos did a great job of what they were trying to portray in this album, you know, because like the album's supposed to be about culture, and you know, they were supposed to basically speak on a couple things, and having Post Malone on here, like I said, was very hypocritical. But like, it all depends on what you're listening to. Like, my favorite track on here was Made Men, for the sole reason of I felt that as a black male, I felt that track from start to finish, what they were speaking on, the come up, all that stuff, just wanting to get out, you know, not being shackled. You can't speak. Look, if you not black and you never been through the struggle, don't speak on it. That's 100. That's it. Point blank. You don't know. You can, and you know, I respect people that try to relate, but then I don't respect people that just like to talk and then don't have anything to back it up for. Like, you know, people like you just make me sick, man. Like, you don't know. You don't know. So do some research before you go and speaking out your ass. And that's something, just keep it like that, 100. Hey, to the review though, man, half the album was good, 12 out of 24. You know, I felt like they should have shortened it. If they would have shortened it, it would have been one of the great albums that they released. Actually would have been a full, it would have been a full project. But you know, having some of those filler tracks between the middle, those hype tracks, I'm not a fan of that. Like, a lot of y'all was probably listening for that. I was listening to see what they were going to speak on. They were going to speak on the culture, because for the first album, you know, I got somewhat of that. I felt like they wanted to do something with the second one, and they really didn't accomplish that. From a music standpoint, I did like half of it, but the other half was 12 out of 24, 13 out of 24 at that. So I give it a 50%, but that's a lot of tracks, 24. Don't ever do that again. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it like that. I'm sorry for my rant at the end. I mean, no disrespect toward races. I just feel some type of way sometimes when people like to speak on stuff that they really don't know nothing about, and they want to know, and then, you know, they want to be part of something. Look, I mean, music is music, and you know, we do have more rappers nowadays that are in different races. It is what it is. But I mean, for the most part, a lot of y'all don't go through the struggle, and when y'all try to speak on something y'all don't know, y'all sound like fucking idiots, and it makes me kind of mad. Just gonna keep it like that. Till the next time, this has been your boy Dev. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. And yeah, we out.